What would I expect? Sort of like living on locations, like bands wandering around, but then also like mix that with some sort of like playing and actual shots that like sync to the music. It kind of like gives a dynamic, and you can actually see the band almost like in a live environment, and that's kind of like what these bands are all about, like being, normal and like indie with that, and yeah.
The kind of things I would expect to see from a music video of this genre would be lots of different activities that teenagers would stereotypically do, like I don't know, skating, or just doing things that seems like they're makes it seem like they're delinquents or something.
Sort of urban liminal locations that give off sort of a youthful, apathetic vibe. And a lot of the time they're wearing sort of retro clothing, which reinforces the whole vintage culture of today, I guess you could say.
Why do you think they're wearing vintage clothing?
Sort of to create an ideology behind them that, they're trendy and cool, and so people will focus a lot more on, I guess, the image than the actual music and be more influenced by that, I guess you could say.
I like to see the band being themselves in a video. You get to know their personality, or at least you feel like like seeing inside their actual lives, as opposed to being like massively overproduced and run by a corporation. I think it's important to like try and create something that like your fans can engage with, and like they might have same things might happen in their everyday lives.
I'd like to see things that I would like to see in a music video are like things like activities that I can't do or I don't do, just something that makes it fun to look at. So some things, activities like rock climbing or something like that, anything that I don't do, that the other person is doing in the video, so I can live vicariously through them. But yeah, good sceneries, good locations, that kind of thing.
Sort of relatable locations and narratives, because I wouldn't really be able to relate to something in outer space, and I wouldn't really be able to take it seriously. And I mean, there's some that can be funny, but me personally, I don't really tend to find them that interesting, and I prefer sort of relatable, still interesting, but more relatable, realistic narratives and locations and characters, I guess.
In the mise en scène, like I tend to look for like location, like whether I can relate to it and where the situation they're in, and like more than often than not, it's like every day. Well, it's costume, because like as a target audience, like if you can relate to that, then you feel like, I don't know, the video then gratifies you. And like props, like skateboards and that, because it's sort of like a fashion reference.
In terms of mise en scène, things like openness, not enclosed spaces, I don't think are something that's good to look at, because I don't know, I feel it restricts the music video in terms of what I can see, and it just becomes boring quickly. So wide shots, but in open spaces, I guess.
I think if I didn't know the band or the song, then I'd be looking for either like a narrative, or like shot types, varying that. And pace is important. Like, if people are using like the beats of the song to edit, then that sort of like grabs you and hooks you in.
The thing that would draw me to a music video of a band that I don't know would be if it was interesting, just in terms of things like costume, scenery, mise en scène, shot types, anything that makes it look interesting or fun. Really, that's yeah.
People should avoid. I don't know, narrative tends to be overused, and like when it's cliche, like boy meets girl, or yeah, girl meets boy. It's just avoid that.
The use of wide shots, like constantly, should be avoided, because if you don't get a variety of shot types, it becomes uninteresting. And also, if you use just wide shots, you don't necessarily get the emotions of people's faces or other things that you need to get. Yeah.
Probably Bloodshake, King City, and Best of Friends, Palm Violet. just because the way that they're done, like, you know, the bands are in everyday locations, like, you can relate the fashions, again, you can relate to, and the, like, variation of shots, it's just very dynamic, and it kind of draws you in alongside the music.
Some of my favourite videos are King of the Beach, which I like because it's fun to listen to and watch, because they're just doing interesting things. Also, do I want to know? Because it's different, it has interesting style.
I quite like Expectation by Tame Impala, just because it's really simple. It's just a 360-degree shot constantly, but it's really, you know, really draws you in, and it really reflects the psychedelic nature of the song. And it's just a really interesting shot, and seems really original to me because I haven't seen anything like that before. What else is there? I like Are You Mine by Arctic Monkeys. Just again because it's really simple. It's just them in a car driving and then singing to a handheld camera.
So simplicity is important.
Yeah,
for you.
simplicity. It's very important. Yeah, I enjoy the simple things.